vibes or nothing. Excellent. I'm excited. Are you excited? Let's get excited together. So I have made a Ouija table before, just for fun, but there are definitely things about that table that I really don't like. I didn't like the graveyard because I thought that that looked a little bit simple, too lame. I don't know. Are you recording? Yes. Okay. And I really didn't like the filigree on top because I feel that I really didn't manage to make it look good. But then Joe came to me recently and he said that he really, really loves that table and would love for me to make him one. Which brings us to today. So we drove around to different secondhand shops and everything. We really wanted a table that looked kind of old. And so we found one. Fast forward to today, we're going to figure out the design. Since there were things that I really didn't like about that other table, I really wanted to kind of improve that. And even though he wanted an exact copy, only like blown up to a bigger size, I went to Pinterest and I found a bunch of things that I thought would be really, really cool on the Ouija table. And I showed him and he basically just gave me a big thumbs up and said, like, run with it, you do you. But there are things about the old table that I really do like and that I want to kind of bring over to the new table. I really like the font of the letters and the numbers and like the goodbye and stuff. The sun and the moon, I want to adjust them a little bit and make them look better. Let's get to it. Now, I was toying around with this idea, right? I just do like that would be here. So then we just do multiply and then we'll do, let's see. Okay, let's get to printing. Ha! JK. First we need to sand the table. Now, as you can see, I'm being a silly little goose and I'm doing this inside because outside is raining, so I can't do it outside. But if you have to do it inside, just be sure to be in a nicely ventilated room. The sandpaper I used in the beginning was 60 grit and the one I finished on was 120. And then when I was done, I just used a wet cloth to wash it off. And now we're almost ready to start printing, but first we got to do the help lines. So then we're going to find the middle of the table. You just measure horizontally and you take the number that you get and divide it by 2 and that's center. And then you do the same vertically. Find the measurement, divide it by 2 and that's your center. There we go. I made the sun and the moon bigger because I am an adult and I am legally allowed to make decisions. You ready, buddy? Okay, so what I'm going to use is something called carbon paper, carbon tracing paper. And I swear to God, that has been a game changer. Columbo. Hi. Could we wait with that? Okay, so that has been a game changer, right? Because what I used to do that I would take like a baking paper type deal, put that over it, trace everything because you could see through it. So I would trace everything like that. Sometimes You had to go like really hard into it, and that really hurt my fingers. But I really didn't mind it that much until Joe was there like, you know, there are things that you can use for these. You know, they have like, you know, transfer paper and stuff. Somehow I just thought that like, this works, right? And then he just bought it for me. My God, I am never going back. So then you have to put that underneath your design. I like to tape the design to what I'm transferring it over to so that I don't like bump into it and it's like all over the place. What you're gonna need is some of these. There are different tips. I only use one. And then you just start your design. I know this is like a weird question, right? But do you have like a favorite serial killer? I know that that's horrible because all of them are just, you know, horrendous and all of that stuff. But do you have like a favorite one that you love hearing about? Because I don't really know, because I thought that it might have been Gacy, the clown, right? The Coco the clown, killer clown guy. And I've seen like a bunch of things on Gacy, but I don't know, BTK just seems so much more, I don't know, layered and like interesting. So I don't know, I think my favorite gotta be BTK. Hi, hey, I just wanted to explain why I suddenly started talking about this. At this very moment, here, I had just finished watching the documentary on Netflix, My Father, the BTK Killer. And in that documentary, they did a lot more in-depth who he was outside of being a killer. That like how he was as a father, how he was as a husband, and like how he was in the community and stuff like that. A lot of those things that I'd never heard before. And that's why I suddenly started talking about serial killers and stuff. So, but anyway, that's all. Because I mean, there's obviously like the Green River Killer, the Toy Box Killer, Ted Bundy, all of the regulars, right? Oh, hey buddy. All right, so it's been a really long time since I've used this. I hope that the settings of how hot it's supposed to be is saved. As you see, I have like taken some bandage and stuff around it because it gets really freaking hot. So then it gets a little bit uncomfortable to hold it if you're holding it for a long time. It is saved. So then let's just see. You know, when I started doing some wood burning and stuff like that, I actually started with a pen. It just looks like a funky pen, really. And I mean, it was fine. I did some projects with it and stuff, but it was just these ones. It's just better. It's really nice because it's kind of like a peaceful thing because you're just like following the lines and everything, and just like put on a movie or a TV show or whatever, like something you can enjoy and just fall into your own world. It's nice of you to honor us with your presence, huh? Yeah? Because Psycho here, my grumpy old man, he hasn't been wanting to be in this video because he has just been sleeping and it's just been, you know, snoozing like he always is. Like, you can lay on a pillow or something if you want. Because you are a prince, you can lay on that if you like. Yeah? Okay. We all excited? Let's freaking do this. Let's freaking go.
Excuse me, what the actual
other things. And I don't want anybody to talk shit about my pillow over there. Let me tell you a little story about that pillow in particular, because the only reason why I have it is because of this beautiful creature that lays next to it. Yup. I think it was, I guess now it's about like 6 months ago, something like that. 6 months ago. Then Colombo and I were playing, right? We were playing like tug of war, right? In somewhere. You know what you're supposed to do with dogs to like build up their confidence and stuff like that is that when you're doing like the tug of war thing is that you let go so that like you let them win, right? And the thing with Colombo is I don't think he liked that. So when we played tug of war there, right? And he had the rope and everything, and I was like, oh, and then I like let go and he won. And I was like, hey, let's go, that's a good boy. I don't think that Colombo, either he didn't understand what was happening, or maybe he thought that that was like a part of the game or something. Because then, when I had done that like a couple of times and stuff, then suddenly when we were playing and I was pulling the hardest I possibly could, right? All of my strength. And Colombo looks me dead in the eye and lets go. Sent me flying, right? Sent me flippin' flying. I landed right on my tailbone. I laid there in my shame in front of all the neighbors and stuff. And that was lovely. So I didn't notice anything right away. I laid there and then he came running over and like, oh my God, are we playing on the ground now? And I didn't feel any pain. No pain whatsoever in my tailbone or my back, my legs, nothing like that. Should it be like this maybe? Yeah, probably. Then I was going to bed that same day. So then when I was laying on my back and I was gonna like turn to a side or something, then you like use your legs to like push yourself. And when I used my leg to like put that, it felt like a knife was just like shot right in my tailbone. And it was so painful. Obviously, since I didn't know why that happened, I was like, why? I was like, oh, I don't understand why this hurts. So then I like tried to move back and forth all over the place like many times, and then it just still hurt. Okay, I think this would be right. Yep. I think so. So yeah, long story short, this guy messed up my table, and I didn't go to the doctor right away because I thought like, no, I just fell and that happens, you know. No need to cry about it. I went, I think, like 2 months, and it really didn't get better. When I was sitting in the sofa, I had to sit like between two cushions and stuff so that my tailbone can kind of like be free falling. So then I went to my doctor after 2 months, and he explained to me that if you bruise or break or offend your tailbone, it takes a really, really long time to recover. I didn't know that. So I just went like, all right, well, I mean, it's been 2 months, isn't that long? And he's just like, not for your tailbone. Your tailbone can be a bit temperamental. I was like, all right. Then I asked like, okay, so how long do you think then? He basically told me that there's a lady who didn't really get better, and she waited about like 7-8 months or something like that. And she got tired of it. She operated away the little nub of a tailbone that she had. And I was just like, okay, so that's an option. And so then he said like, but I don't want to send you to like operate or something when you've only had pain for 2 months. And I was like, no, I don't want you to do that at all, actually. And he said like, okay, great. Well then I recommend that you buy a pillow that you can sit on. And I was like, what, do I have to buy like a donut or something like that? And he's like, no, you can't buy the like normal hemorrhoid pillows or anything. You can't do that. And I was like, okay, great, wonderful. But it looks like it. I was like, so basically, like, I can show you what it looks like. It looks like this, right? It has some It has some dog fur on it. It's like my tailbone goes here, obviously. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I gotta do that. And then I bought one, and that was like 800 krowners. That's like $80-ish. And I was like, oh, okay. Just to be able to sit. I get used to being in pain because I'm in chronic pain every day. So this was kind of just like a new one. Like, oh, it's just, you know, it's just...
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Whatever, it is what it is, right? So I didn't really pay attention to it not getting better. And then Christmas came. Mama Gangsta, who is a saint, she bought me a new one. And because Mama Gangsta is just better. You know, she's just better. She's just always better. And then I started using that one right away because you could just tell that this quality was something else. I think it went like that's dramatic. 5 days. Obviously you can't have it with you all the time. So I would notice with the old one that when I didn't have it with me and I was just sitting like normally like on a chair somewhere at the dentist office or whatever, that it would really, really hurt. And I would like move around a lot in my seat and everything and be really uncomfortable. But after using this one for about like 5 days.
We've been trying to contact you regarding your car's extended warranty.
I noticed that when I didn't use it, it still hurt, but not as much. And it took a lot longer before it started to hurt. And that is something I'm stoked about. And yeah, that is the very, very long-winded story of why I'm sitting on something that looks like a hemorrhoid pillow. Or it could be a really, really elaborate story that I tell you to hide the fact that I have hemorrhoids. You don't know. You don't know. Oh, that'd be great. Okay, I'm done talking now. I love you. New day, new possibilities, and we are going to finish this table. Oh, I'm so excited. You excited? You excited, buddy? Today we're going to do the sun, the moon, and the bat. Super excited about it. After that, we are going to do a solid cleaning of the table, and I have found the perfect varnish. I've used this varnish before. Now, I'm not 100% sure what kind of wood this is, but it looks suspiciously much like pine. And the last table, I also believe was pine, and that worked beautifully. It's very important when you varnish anything that you're sure that it doesn't react funny with the wood. Ideally, I should have had like a part of this wood so that I could like test it and stuff, but I don't have that. So Jesus, take the wheel. What this varnish did, because this is like a silk mat. It is for like flooring and stuff. And what this one does, it doesn't have any color or anything to it, which I didn't want, because I didn't want this to have any other color than what this has. I just wanted it to be like a tint darker, see-through basically. And this one does exactly that. Let's get started.
How long is this going to take?
Okay, so I actually had to utilize my kitchen for this part. I don't want Columbo or Psycho to like get into the table or anything. And I have a curtain that I can just draw. Go away. Ugh. Okay, why don't we all check it out? So, if it has a really strong scent, I don't want Columbo and Psycho to be bothered by that. I will varnish it in here and I'll draw the curtain and I'll open a window. Let's get the table. Sorry, could you scoot over a little? Go through there. Yep, okay. Do I have, yes. Okay. So now it's here and it is ready to be varnished. I'm gonna wait a few minutes more just in case it is a little bit damp. So see you in a few minutes. Let's go. I am really, really happy with how this turned out. I am super, super stoked. You know, last time I wore this shirt, it was to celebrate the release of my brother's new song. Shameless advertisement. Anyway, he asked me, why are you covering up your tattoos? And honestly, it's got a point. Here it is. A perfectly normal table for perfectly normal activities, like drinking coffee, eating dinner, getting angry messages from your grandma because you forgot to use a coaster. Honestly, I love how this turned out. And I think that my favorite DIY projects are the ones that tell a story. A few days ago, this was just an old thrifted table. And now it looks like it belongs in a house where every portrait's eyes seem to follow you, surrounded by candlelight, old books, and at least 3 family secrets. I'm kind of sad to see it go, to be honest. But that's the fun thing about DIY. I can just make another one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I made this. Let me know in the comments if you like this kind of thing and if there's any other designs they would like to see on a table or a chair or literally any other type of furniture. Stay gangster, stay creative, and remember the rules of a Ouija board. Don't ask it when you're going to die. Don't talk to it by yourself, and always remember to say goodbye. Bye. Oh, these knees are not the bees. Oh. Stay gangster, stay creative, and remember the word. Oh, stop! Oh. Here it is, a normal table for perfectly normal activities.